What's up, everybody? Today we are going to be reviewing Mistah Fab's brand new album. In my opinion, one of the best albums of the year and his best album that he's ever done. That's what we're going to be talking. 1, 2, 3, let's go!
Gotta live for today and forget about the past. Fighting with yourself, fighting with your life.
And what's up, everybody? We are back and we are talking Mistah Fab's latest album, America Don't Love Us. Us meaning black people. I'm a black man. So this album is probably going to resonate with me more than others. I had to review it. It came out Friday. Conway came out Friday. So did B.O.B. and a few other projects. I didn't even know this was coming out until last week or a week and a half ago, and I was floored. And I'm gonna just tell you why I was floored. But listen to it, Spotify, Apple Music, stream it, buy it, whatever you do for your music. I think this is one of the better albums of the year. Right now, it's in my top 10 for sure. And going back and listening to some Fab's music when I did that Bay Area's best MCs of all time, this right here is his best work. This is his best album he's ever done. Some people may disagree that's heard this album. I just feel for where we are in America, this album is very much needed. I hope this gets the love and the proper respect it deserves, because Mistah Fab, being from Oakland, California, one of the most, when we're talking about activism and just black cities in America, or what it used to be, but I think still is in some respect, is Oakland. And Mistah Fab, who better than him to speak of that? I mean, from an era of, and from a town where Black Panther, the Black Panthers were done, and the movie Black Panther, some of it was shot, and Huey P. Newton and just so many activists that are from this beautiful city that we call Oakland. And I'm not being a homer or anything like that. I am in the Bay. I am 510, but I just have to give it up to him. He's never had an album to me that has been that he's saying some of the things from the start to the end, right? And I think he stayed the track. This album, the whole album is produced by the Mekanix, and from the album cover, from Sean King on the intro, where he's talking about how America, but white people, but America doesn't love us, but they love everything but us. He's talking about that they've loved our labor, they've loved the athletes, they've loved the culture, the food, the music, everything except black people themselves. That was really hitting. I know Sean King was out here not too long ago, I think before COVID, with Bernie, he was at my barbershop as well, and in Oakland. And powerful intro, sets the tone for the whole album. He comes out with the first song called Power. He flips the P word a lot on there. He's talking about the city of the lost prophets, just talking about the power that we have as black people and how we should use that power and how we should leverage that power, and recognizing how powerful we are. And he, at the same time, this album, he's talking a lot about our history, where we are currently, where we're going, but it's very uplifting too. And in the first song, he's out the gate, he's talking about just the power that we have and that we've had, and how we should leverage that power. And the wordplay on that song is different than he's ever done. And I'm not gonna maybe not, but it's when I'm starting to just think about all his work, and he's shown his ass on other songs before and other albums before, but this is just different. This feels different and more monumental in his career. Maybe, I don't know if he sees it that way, but I do, especially if it gets just the proper respect that it deserves. The next song, Mr. Police, it's a letter to the police. He's talking about the first verse. He's talking about getting pulled over, and if he complies, he dies. If he replies, he dies. So he's just not going to say nothing at all. I mean, it's just very powerful at all. Just a no-win situation that if you've ever been pulled over by the police or been in a car that you're pulled over by the police, there's a certain fear that you have, especially in these days of time, that you're gonna lose, right? And yeah, just powerful song, and this whole album you get that, just get the power, and very current, very. George Floyd died a few months ago, Memorial Day week in May, and you still are May to now. He must have crafted this album in like a 5-month span. Some people do it over the weekend. I don't know how long it took him to do, but this is very current, and it hits nerves that I haven't felt in a long time by a whole album. Yeah, the third verse he's talking about Karen and how, you know, she's a renter, he's a owner. It's a perfect song that explains gentrification. Third verse is talking about rioting and, you know, just it's a powerful song. I just got done listening to it for like the fourth time, and it just hits me of how powerful these messages are, and hopefully people who love Mistah Fab and love Bay music and love music listen to this album. He has a Scary X on the album, one of the few features, and if you know about Scary X, legend in the Bay Area, legend in rap, especially conscious rap, one of the first real conscious rappers around the time of Public Enemy, and he's from the Bay, and he, you know, Dead Prez. When you think of Scary X, if you've never heard of him or never listened to his music, think like Dead Prez, think that type of sound and music that you're getting from him and message. Dope that he had a Scary X on a project. He has a song called Can't Go Outside, because, you know, these days, not just with coronavirus, you can't go outside no more, especially if you're living in certain communities. It's just not safe to go outside. You can't go outside and play. Kids getting hit by strays. So that's very touching for him to talk about that also. Good Trouble. John Lewis just passed, I want to say a month ago, or in July, late July, August. And just like I said, the album's very current, like current. He talks about getting in good trouble, and if Martin was alive, and if Malcolm was alive. He's talking to Pac is in his dreams. He's talking about distance learning, and, you know, Mistah Fab has a daughter and that he's talked about on the album and previous albums. And so as a father and as a parent of a kid that's going to school, I'm pretty sure that's affected him like others. So it's a very, he touches all different types. It's not just black people that I think he's talking to. He's also talking to just America in general. Just with everything going on with coronavirus and the wildfires and social injustice, it's the perfect time to release an album like this. He's talking about he had a dream police ain't racist. That if police weren't racist and you not a king, you not a nigga. Just and you ain't gotta have a jumper to make it. Just what he's saying is so profound. And like I said, it's throughout the album. There's not one song that does not fit the theme of the album, which I love. Like every single song makes sense with the title, with the cover, with the features, everything. He was in his bag on this album. Then he has a song called Stay Inside, where he's talking about reading during the quarantine and talking to your grandmother if you still have her, and picking up that phone and calling people, and just stay your ass inside. Do your grocery shopping, do what you gotta do. Stay inside. I mean, he perfect song. He ends the song with around all around the world with Keisha Cole. Beautiful song, talking about, he thought, or a lot of people think, what's going on in their hood or their neighborhood or their community is only affecting them, and it's not going on anywhere else. And he perfectly, and Keisha beautifully sings that they turn on the TV and it's happening everywhere. People getting killed, little kids getting killed, drugs being sold, mass incarceration for black and brown people at an all-time high. Perfect way to end the song, from Sean King to Keisha Cole. I mean, and then everything sandwiched in between. Just a really great album. I think this is a 4 or 5. I really do. I think the production from the Mekanix on here is great. There's some modern stuff. There's a lot of good West Coast sounding beats on here. There's also a couple beats that sound like mob style West Coast, like an ode to Bay Area music from the late 90s, early 2000s, and just, the features are minimal, and it's all him besides a few features. And I think it's just a great current album, and this album would be great anytime that he would drop it, but just to drop it now, right, was going on. I think it's perfect, and salute to you, Fab, because I think this is your best work, and hopefully, this is getting the proper respect it deserves, because I think people need to hear this album. I think the things you're saying on this album are profound and need to be heard from everybody, blacks, browns, white people, especially in this country, who have been lately, at least in the Bay that I've seen, have been trying to understand, and some understanding what it means to really be black. Maybe not fully get it at all, but like understand, like, man, like that's what they've been saying for years. And I think this album, if you listen to that album and the pain that you are talking about on here, and then to make it full circle and not just talk about being black, but you're really talking about coronavirus and school and quarantine. You're really talking about some real current events. And I don't know if there's been an album this year at least that's really doing that from start to end. Run the Jewels, there's a few songs that's done it, but then they give other songs too. This really feels like you wanted to get this point across for 13 songs, 46 minutes, perfect time, 45, 46 minutes. So just overall great album. I salute you, and keep doing your thing. And I would love to see how this progresses, and if you're going to start doing more music like this, because I just felt that you were, and he was just sounded his best, and sounded refreshed, and sounded focused. And that's not to say you're not focused on other projects. It's just that this was, you really honed in and bit down on what you were trying to say on this album. So 4.5 out of 5. Great album. Mistah Fab, Bay Area stand up, hip hop stand up. Everybody needs to hear this album. Doesn't matter what color or you are, man or woman. I think this is an album for everybody. So I recommend this album. Until next time, you guys take care. This is All Things Beer 510. Please like, please subscribe, please comment below about what you think about the album. Take care. 100. Peace.